All right, everybody. So today's worksheet is on shading forms. So if you remember back to when we learned form and you guys watched the video and he talked about using multiple different pencils for adding the cast shadows and the shadow, that's what you'll be doing today. And you've got 6 or 7 different shapes to do. So here's a couple examples. Remember, your paint highlights go where the light is hitting first. So up in the upper right hand corner, it gives you a little diagram and it talks about where the highlight is, shade, shadow, the reflective light, and the cast shadow. So always remember that wherever the surface that is below your object is going to reflect back on that object. So right before you get to the cast shadow, in between that shadow and the cast shadow, you should have a little small area that is considered your reflected light area. So I'm going to start with a sphere. And remember, you've got quite a few different shapes. You have about 3 that have a rounded side to them. So remember that you need to follow the angle or the curve of those shapes. So remember, you do your smiles and your rainbows when you are shading. You'll notice how I'm starting with a very light pencil first. This is actually a 2H. So I didn't want to add a lot of value to the shape yet. I just wanted to give it a nice overall value. And then later I'll go back in with my darker pencils. So you should have all of your pencils while you are working on this today. So you should have your 2H, HB, 2B, 4B, and 6B. So again, like I said, start with your 2H, and then you can start using your pencils as you see fit. Your shadow will be your 6B pencil, definitely, because that's the darkest area. And I would say your shade is going to be somewhere around your 4B and 2B, just depending on what you are looking for. And you'll notice that you also don't have the cast shadows drawn. You'll need to do those yourself. So while I am shading this, if you'd like, you can start working on your sphere as well. Slowly start shading, starting again with those 2H, adding in the HB, and then slowly working your way up to your 6B. Remember to leave your reflected light and to draw in your cast shadows. So I'm getting towards the end of shading the sphere, and you'll notice how I'm working with that smile shape, slowly making it darker. Use my finger a little bit to blend. I don't mind if you guys want to use your finger. It just helps to move the pencil lead around because you're using 6B, 4B, and 2B, and these are much softer pencils. That lead will easily move. Unlike a 2H or HB, where the lead is a lot harder, it's not going to move around so much. You won't have as much dust. Sorry, I was trying to show you the pencil there, but I didn't quite get it. So you'll see I'm using the HB, so I'm going in just to add a little bit of value in, just to make that gradation throughout the sphere. Alright, coming to the finishing point on the sphere, and then make sure that you are adding in your cast shadow. You don't want to forget that. Just think about where, if the sun was going to be hitting this shape, where would it be? So I'm using the 6B here. Where would that sun hit this shape? And then wherever the sun can't reach, that's going to create a shadow of your actual shape. So the 6B, I go in with that one. It's going to fill in the darkest. And you'll see that the reflected light is, line is right between the shadow and the cast shadow. So you can tell that the light of what would be the ground or the paper, whatever is underneath the shape, is actually reflecting back onto the shape. Now in this video, I only did the sphere for you guys. Go ahead and work on the other 6 shapes, making sure that you decide where that light is going to be coming from. If it makes it easier for you to draw where the light's coming from, feel free to do that. That is not a problem, just to give you a reference. And then remember, when you're doing your upside down cone or pyramid cone, and that round cylinder that's kind of on its side, remember you'll have a darker area right towards the center where the light isn't able to reach because it is a rounded object. Alright, enjoy shading, you guys.